while the storm clouds gather far across the sea. Let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
Hello, welcome to Lights on L.A. I'm your host, Louise Gill. With me this evening, we have a very, very special program, which I'm sure that all of you will enjoy. I am in the City of Industry in a beautiful art gallery, wonderful, famous, very famous artist by the name of CAO Young. I am with his sister. How are you?
Hi.
And also with her husband, Mr. Leo. And of course, we all know Larry from Coco Productions.
Hi.
I want to welcome all of you on Lights on LA and would like to say thank you. And I feel very honored that I am in your studio in this wonderful gallery that you have displayed wonderful, beautiful art.
Thank you.
I mean, it is truly amazing. I know that we had talked about it. I know that Larry has always told me to come and see it.
Yes.
And I cannot imagine and did not imagine how beautiful your studio is. The art gallery is amazing. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Let me start off by asking. I know that he is in China. He travels a lot.
Right.
But we would like to know a little background because the story that you told me that he started when he was 5 years old. And right after that, because of some of his work, he had to go and flee the country because they took some of his work, and he went to Tibet. Could you give us a little story about the cave and how he lived there for 1 year? I mean, that was an amazing story that I'm sure that everybody would love to hear about how he started.
As an artist, he actually have something in him. I can something like you can say it's a gifted. When he was about 5 years old, he really loves to paint, to sketch, whatever paper or anything that he can grab and sketch or paint. That's how he loves about painting. And to one point, they don't have enough material to sketch for him to draw. He will grab, the rice sack, the old style rice sack made out of cloth.
Right.
He will use that as his canvas.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. And then as he grows up, just like a normal regular kid, he will go to school and then, learn as far as he can also doing that as artist. And then he graduated in Henan University. As a and he's in art.
His major was in art.
Yeah,
right.
major in art. And then he, in this case, probably Qing can explain a little bit more detail because there's really kind of detailed part that she really close to Chao at that time.
Yeah. After finishes college, he went to this Tibet. He go to Tibet. It's a Tibet college. Doing like a professor. During professor time, he go out to painting. He love painting from a small until now. He never stopped painting.
He never stopped.
Yeah.
Well, the work, you always look at a picture. When you look at a painting, and I'm sure Larry and I were looking at his paintings, and I'm sure that the vision that he had with doing it is so much more, because when you look at a painting you say, wow, okay, that's really pretty, but there is so much detail and so much history, I'm sure, behind the work that he puts himself into. I mean, behind me I have the Congress and the Statue of Liberty, and I have the wonderful, which was presented in the White House, and I'm sure Larry will tell us a little bit more about that as far as how it was presented to the president, and I'm sure Leo would be able to let us know. This picture behind us has gone to the White House.
The White House, and also in New York to 9/11, to the firemen that protected the city during the time of 9/11. And his journey has been all over the United States to present this to the fire department and to the police department, also to the city of Los Angeles that he dedicated a painting to. And I'm so impressed with him because he's such a humble person.
Mhm.
When you meet him, you wouldn't think this is the person who did all the painting, because he's not the kind of person that, look at what I've done. He's very humble. The last time he was here, he heard of an artist that was in a wheelchair with all his friends and movie stars, this guy, in a wheelchair. And Chow went out to his home, and he was an artist with his wheels. He couldn't move but nothing with his hand. But he would take the tire of the wheelchair and go around and around to make paintings on the floor. And Chow was so impressed with him. He just loved him, and he wanted to stay there the whole day. That's the type of person that I'm speaking of, Mr. Chow Young. I'm very impressed. This is one of his catalogs, and I'm
One of
so
one of
honored.
many.
One of many. And I'm so honored that he put my picture in here, behind all the dictionary,
Well,
the
Larry, I have
presidents.
to, intervene right there, and just to say that, well, the reason why is because you are also an amazing individual.
Thank you.
That if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be having the pleasure of meeting such wonderful talent and a wonderful family.
Thank you.
So I'm truly thankful, and I'm sure that Mr. Chow realized that you are such a kind individual with a great heart and willing to help and promote talent, artists, musicians, and everything. So, I do have to say thank you, and for meeting such
Right.
wonderful, amazing people. The work that I see in this gallery, I urge all of you to go to Chow Young, CAO YONG
US.
.us. Go see the pictures. Come to the gallery. There's 2 locations, right?
Yeah, there's a main showroom is here.
Is in
address.
the City of Industry,
Yeah,
1100.
South Jellic Avenue, City of Industry.
Say it again. That can be a little closer.
Yeah, 1100 South Jellic Avenue, City of Industry, 91748. That's our main showroom here in City of Industry. And we have galleries across the states, but the closest one here probably that you'll be able to see in person in the gallery itself is in San Pedro. That is in Berth 77, San Pedro Protocol Village in San Pedro. I don't remember the zip code, but you
That's
probably can
okay.
do
I'm
that.
sure we'll look at it.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a question now. All these are oil paintings?
Yes, as you can see, every single one of these he did by hand, oil on canvas. But the way that he did it is so detailed, so much color, not only color, the life into it. Because people say, if you go to different gallery, you will see different artists' work. And every time you see them, they have certain profile, certain style that they always very specialized. It's hard for them to change the profile or style, but a lot of collectors that saw his work before they were Thomas Kincaid's collectors and every other artist, but when they saw Mr. Young's artwork, they said he has more life in his painting. Every single one is different.
Oh, yes.
And then
very detailed.
yeah, very detailed, and he really good with everything. If you can see the environment, the building, the animals, faces. Some people won't able to paint faces, but if some people really good in faces, they not into different
Amazing
style.
work.
Yeah,
Amazing.
especially the one that I want to kind of very interesting part is the Memories of Venice, the one that I always mention to people, because in here you can see how detailed the work is. For example, this image, the detail of the color, those faces, the expression. But the thing is,
And it was on right here also.
just that part is this detail here, and people say,
Wow.
just imagine how much detail in the whole painting itself. And not only that, you won't able to see the layers of color. He blend the colors so well, it looks like as if real people, but in in a fantasy world. I mean, in really very dreamy, but yet interesting and encouraging, inspiring, inviting the feeling of it. So every single one of them is unique.
How long does it take for something like this? His work is, for example, a painting of this magnitude. How long will it take him to do?
Depending on the detail of what he want to do, average is about 3 to 4 months. Because for him, he want to show what he see from his eye, to share to people that everything that you see in his painting is from his own vision. He want to share that with everybody. He doesn't want to just paint and then that's it. He said if he feels that it's not as detailed as he wants to, and he will keep doing that until he feels satisfied. Then he will close that book, and then he will, show to public or people, the collectors, especially all those people who loves his painting.
You must be extremely proud of your brother.
I'm so proud for my brother.
Now, the story that truly impressed me, and I'm going back a little, is Tibet,
Oh,
where he was in a cave
yeah,
for 1 year.
right. Well, just like what Chen mentioned just now, after he finished his school, he painted a lot of artwork and artists, or he travels everywhere. But as an artist, he expressed himself on canvas. But most of his work at the early beginning is based on how the feeling inside him tried to come out, and then he put all those on the canvas. And at that time, his work is more towards the life of normal, regular people. In other words, people put on nice clothes, but you don't know what's inside that people. So he looked people's inside. And when he looked people from inside, he painted on the canvas. So that's how he see, all those people from his vision. But at that time, most of his work, or not most, but some of his work have like a nudity, because to him that's art. For artists, those are all art. But
It was natural for him.
But back then, talking about 20 years ago, back then, from what he painted, is probably art for him, but not to other people, especially the authority,
In China.
at that time. But now they are very good. They're different. They change. But at that time, that moment, they confiscate his artwork that he tried to display and show in China, and then they get them, they cut and burn some of them. So he doesn't want all this original work that he did all this time. That's his life, So he grabbed whatever he can and
Went to Tibet.
went to Tibet. So in Tibet, he also involved in art so heavily and teach people, and he also worked as a assistant professor in Tibet art universities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then out of those 7 years that he was there, he went in a cave by himself a year. He lived there, and in a place where used to be a kingdom, king, and all these people, like 300 something thousand people, but they're all gone because of the war. So what's left in Tibet at that time, when they call kingdom, is only the cave, the mural
The murals.
work in the cave. So he experienced that by himself, so different, because when you solitary by yourself in a certain place, nobody else around you, the feeling is different, the experience is different.
Of course.
So that's how he loves to have that kind of feeling, and then he will try to put all this mural on the wall on canvas, because all this mural on the wall is ruined by the weather. As time goes by, they all ruin. But he tried to save them as many as possible, transfer them on canvas every
That's
day
amazing.
for 1 year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then from there, in Tibet you don't see it like here. There's no trees, and don't see any like house or people live there. Nobody there, and he just live in a cave and surviving by hunting wild animal, like wild rabbit or something, whatever he can
To
get
survive.
to survive. The work that he did all this time, that's his life, So he grabbed whatever he can and
Went to Tibet.
went to Tibet. So in Tibet, he also involved in art so heavily and teach people, and he also worked as a assistant professor in Tibet art universities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then out of those 7 years that he was there, he went in a cave by himself a year. He lived there in a place where used to be a kingdom, king and all these people, like 300 something thousand people, but they're all gone because of the war. So what's left in Tibet at that time, when they call kingdom, is only the cave, the mural
The murals.
work in the cave. So he experienced that by himself, so different, because when you solitary by yourself in a certain place, nobody else around you, the feeling is different, the experience is different.
Of course.
So that's how he loves to have that kind of feeling, and then he will try to put all this mural on the wall on canvas, because all this mural on the wall is ruined by the weather. As time goes by, they all ruin. But he tried to save them as many as possible, transfer them on canvas every
That's
day
amazing.
for 1 year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then from there, in Tibet you don't see it like here. There's no trees, and you don't see any like house or people live there. Nobody there, and he just live in a cave and surviving by hunting wild animal, like wild rabbit or something, whatever he can
To
get
survive.
to survive. Right.
It is truly remarkable that a gentleman takes the time to put so much, not only into, the beautiful art that we have or the sceneries, but he puts it into occasions that are not, or tragic
Right.
situations, and puts them into reality and then gives back to the community. Like, for example, the one right behind me, the 9/11.
I love that painting.
It brings tears into my eyes, but joyful tears, should I say, and very honored, because it's amazing that you could actually do something to that magnitude with the 9/11, and there were other pictures too, and of course the
With the
Congress
people.
and the
Yeah,
we the
Constitution.
people,
Yeah.
the Constitution, amazing. And then you had another little story that you told me about We the People, as far as the little booklet for the
Right.
Congress,
Yeah.
the Constitution.
Constitution book. Right.
Right.
So could you tell us a little bit about that?
You
You
want you
Yeah.
want
There's one lady. She was the founder of Constitution Day, and she came across Mr. Young's artwork. I believe it's from France or somebody.
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
anyhow,
She saw this
Yeah.
child's work.
yeah, she loves Charles' artwork so much. She really requesting Mr. Young to do something about the country, which is he loves about people. As you can see, all this painting is about life. It's about the people, places that people like to go, or the peacefulness that people want to be. So she just requesting him to do something, and he did create that piece called We the People for Constitution Day, and then she used that as a logo of her company, and then we have that put on the Constitution book that was given to the school. Students always use this as a guide because you probably will see the Constitution book in all these major bookstore. And yeah,
Knott's
especially
Berry Farm.
on Knott's Berry Farm, because there's one building same like the one in Pennsylvania,
Right.
but it's in Knott's Berry
Knott's Berry
Farm, Independence Hall. So we had Constitution Day event on September 17 for the last 3-4 years back to celebrate Constitution of America, and they have preamble. They have students around this area to come and then just celebrate the day for Constitution Day. And everybody use this book as a guide of the Constitution, just to remind them, how great this country is. This is a great country that you should be able, and should be proud of it, and which we are so proud, and that we always carry one of this book ourselves to always remind us, that everything that we live for.
Outstanding. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is amazing. Beautiful art.
And also, this is the gift that we present for you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you
I-
for coming.
Thank you so,
Thank you.
so much.
Yeah.
We love this country.
Yes.
Oh my
And
I will treasure this, and I really thank you.
no problem. Thank you.
This is
You're welcome.
amazing.
Thank you.
We're going to go a little bit into the next room.
Sure.
So we're going to take a short break. And when we get back, we will continue our conversation. But I do want to actually have others see your beautiful gallery. So we will be right back. Stay tuned.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light. CAO Young has put into art what America means to us all. In this portrait, every aspect of America's life, every aspect of what we've gone through, the spirit of our country is alive.
It brings tears to my eyes. I never felt excited about my country until I saw this from someone who captures the history of the country in so many ways.
It touches your soul.
He has spoken through paint things that no one else has been able to say about the event.
Although this is CAO's adopted country, you can tell that he loves it.
He has captured this love for country and for fellow man.
It's extremely timeless.
Justice will amend America.
This is the first time I've seen something like this in all my life. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen in the whole world.
It just takes your breath away.
And he's had a lot of unique and varied experiences, and I think that accents his art and that will set him aside. It's just not the painting, but it's the human involved in the painting too.
For you that don't know, I was born here in Los Angeles. My parents have been here since 1959.
Wow.
And they came from a communist regime. They escaped and went to Beirut, Lebanon, and then from Lebanon they came to America, where my mom speaks fluent English and Armenian, Bulgarian, and French.
Wow.
And she was very, very pro-America, a lady that wanted and fought for freedom. And her desire was to come to America. And since I was born here, and that passion of hers that was so patriotic, this is something that was actually a nightmare for us here in LA.
Right. It was.
It was something that I thought I was switching through the channel, and I thought we were looking at a movie that was pretty intense, and I was like, wow. And then listening to it being reality,
Just couldn't believe it. No?
it was hard to imagine
Right.
that anybody would do something to a country like ours.
Right.
And for Mr. Chow to do this and to actually receive an award from our former President Bush,
Yes.
and to be able to present this to our Fire Station 118, and I want to read it, Los Angeles County Fire Station 118, presented to Chow Young, who has demonstrated through his painting freedom. That's all we wanted in this world is freedom. And we ask for always freedom. That September 11, 2001 will be never forgotten. We honor Chow Young, for donating his painting to Fire Station 118 on July 11, 2002. We lost several brothers from Fire Department, New York, Ladder 118 on September 11, but gained another brother in Chow Young. So,
if you notice this fire truck on its way there, no one returned.
This is the fire truck that did not return.
Yes.
And here you could see in this, it's our flag, the astronaut, the moon, the soldiers,
the history of
the
the country.
history of our country,
Right.
basically in one
Yeah.
piece, which is amazing. And again, presented to Mr. Chow from former President Bush.
Right.
This is a freedom. Every time I sell, we have a 10% to donate. This.
Yeah, we donate to the Twin Towers
victims.
Victims, and also there's what was it again? I cannot remember on top of my mind. But those
the victims of fallen heroes and and the victims of the families.
Right.
And I just found out that this is a puzzle.
Yes.
That they made in Japan.
Right, and there's another one here. They did actually this company call and ask these images from us. They
so many years.
Yeah, for so many years they've been doing puzzle for us.
This is American. This is puzzle company.
Yeah.
So this will be a good Christmas present.
That's
and when
beautiful.
And when you think of Thanksgiving is two words. Thank God for what you have and give something to someone. So if you buy this and give it to someone, you'd be doing a good blessing at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to say thank you again. I really do appreciate you opening your doors. Thank you, Larry, very much.
Thank you so much for you
truly
bringing
I am
the television crew out here.
Extremely impressed. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of Lights on LA, thank you for watching. Please stay tuned next week for another episode. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.